Hello family and friends. As you can see by the smoke billowing around us, we are outside at our fire pit, and on our previous video I mentioned we had gotten some accessories for our fire pit, and I'm going to try to show them to you, and I want to apologize in advance. We got the noise of the air conditioner and one of our neighbors bulldozing down some trees, but well, no air conditioner now, just a dozer. But when you live out in a suburban slash rural environment like we do, sometimes you gotta make do with what you have. So I'm gonna turn you around real quick and show you the two new additions to our outdoor cooking arsenal. And the fire's going. And over here we got two accessories which they come together. We've got a piece here to elevate our cast iron cooking surface. It's made especially for the solo stove, so air can get in, your fire can keep going, but this is your cooking surface, and this didn't come with it. That's just what we used for our meat. But we're going to set this up after we get it seasoned. There's a process to season this that we're going to go through. First, we're going to heat the cast iron. Once we get it heated, we're going to take it off. We're going to lightly coat it with oil. The first heating is to make sure there's no moisture locked underneath your seasoning. You take it off while it's still hot, put it on a surface, which we're going to use the lid of the solo stove as our hot surface, and our hot surface holder. We're going to liberally coat it with flaxseed oil. Once we've got it coated with flaxseed oil, we're going to dry off as much as we can. And then we're going to return it to the hot surface, which is our solo stove, and we're going to let that seasoning dry on there. And it says you should do this at least the first 8 to 10 times that you use it. Of course, you're also going to re-season it as necessary when you cook on it, but once that's done, it should be perfectly seasoned. But you always want to season it at least once, at least according to the directions we got before cooking on it. So we're going to let our fire die down. The first step in the seasoning, you don't want it super hot. You want to let your wood burn down to embers. Then you're going to cook it over that low heat, take it off, and go to the next step. So why did we get this? We just thought it would be another fun way to cook outside, aside from our grills, or just cooking on steaks over the fire. And this is technically called a wok, but it reminds us of a Discada that one of our fellow content creators, Papa Texas, uses for his outdoor kitchen. And this is big enough where we think we can cook some really big family-sized meals, or large meals when we're cooking out with the neighbors like we do sometimes. So we'll bring you guys back when we put it on the solo stove for the first step of the seasoning. Alright, so we let our fire die down till it's almost embers in there, like the instructions told us. And now this is how our cast iron wok or Discada or whatever you want to call it looks. And we're going to leave it here. If you can see in there, the fire's almost died down, but it's still putting off some heat. So it says to leave it on like this for 20 minutes, remove it off, which we're going to set our lid on our stonework out here. We're going to oil the disc down with our flaxseed oil, if you can see it. And then we're going to oil it all over, and then we're going to dry it the best we can, and then we're going to return it to the heat. But then we're going to kick the heat up by adding some more wood back in there for 30 minutes. So it takes probably about an hour to season it the first time, and then you should be able to start cooking on it. So we'll bring you back when we get ready to season it. So we've had our Discada back on the cooking hub for about 20 minutes over a moderate heat. Now we're going to add another log in to bring the temperature really up to cook with, and we're just going to start off slow. We're going to test some burgers on here first with a little probably bacon fat or butter. And then once the burgers are done, we've got a bunch of other meat we're just going to experiment with today. We got plenty of people to eat it, so we're going to do some steaks. We're going to do some pork chops. Yeah, we're just going to play around with it till people say they don't want any more food. And it's somewhat easy to add more wood. You have this little slot as long as you're not putting giant pieces in there. And of course you got to be kind of cautious because the metal can be hot, but it's pretty easy to drop some in. So we got one in. I'm going to add one more. I think if I remember the instructions right, the max cooking temperature you want to have on your cast iron is 500 to 600 degrees. I don't think we're going to get up to that temperature today, but if it is, we'll just take it off. We'll set it off to the side, let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll add back and finish our cook. So Mrs. SG is bringing out some bacon and some burgers, and we'll give you guys a quick shot of that once we get it on. So the bacon really probably will go on a burger. I may actually ask Miss SG to get a couple more. We're going to start off with burgers, but we'll probably do bacon cheeseburgers, so we'll add a few more. But the first slice is just really to kind of get some cooking oil. Once the cast iron is fully seasoned, you can probably cook without adding oil on it, or just a little bit of oil, kind of just like you would cook in a wok. So we're going to move this around a little bit, and then we're going to add our burgers on. And I think you can see and hear the sizzle, so I think it's just the right temperature. So we're definitely going to have to get used to cooking on this. With the grill, you can control your airflow and a lot of other things. With this, it's just like cooking over a campfire. And this can't be raised or lowered. So we'll play around with it until we hopefully get it mastered like our friend Papa Texas. We've seen him cook on his a lot. I know we'll get used to it over time.
Perfect. Sorry, Maggie, none for you.
So we've got some Ben's half smoked on here. We've got a New York strip. We're not going to overcrowd it since this is a test cook, but ideally from some of the videos we saw, you can put stacks and stacks of meat on here. You can fill it up and cook enough for the whole neighborhood, which is what we're going to try to do, or you can cook enough where you have, 2 or 3 meals, or to do some meal planning. One of our friends, Simple Paradise Life, she does a lot of weekly meal planning, so I'm sure when she watches this, she can give us some ideas of how to cook a lot of meat and to set it out or plan to use more of it during the week. And I didn't mention the Discada, which I mentioned earlier. This is, I don't know why Solo Stove classifies it as a wok. If it's a wok, it's the shallowest wok I've ever seen. You ever see a wok this shallow back home? So we're gonna just call ours a Discada from here on out. But the Discadas from Mexico and other Central South American countries, just a cooking technique over a shallow stainless steel or cast iron pan. And I think Mrs. Simple Paradise Life probably knows about this more so than I do, this cooking method. And we're going to look forward to it. We still love our grills, but days when we want to have a fire outside, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So from our first test cook, we love it. We'll be doing more. We'll bring you guys along when we do them, and hopefully this will be a nice video we can put up for Fired Up Friday. So we're going to log out. We've already eaten the burgers, which my other son, SK1, he was surprised when he ate his, which maybe we've never eaten burgers fresh off the grill. I'm talking to Mrs. SG, not to my imaginary friends. But one of the best burgers we ever had, Steel Horse or Iron Horse? Iron Horse restaurant down in Ashland. We got our burgers there, and when they came out, was this pre-pandemic?
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
So pre-pandemic, and when our burgers came out to the table and we took that first bite and saw that steam coming out, we were surprised because you rarely get that at a restaurant. But SK1 was saying that. He's sitting here today. He doesn't want to be on camera too much, so I'm not going to force him, but he said that when he took his first bite, first he said smoke was coming out of it, then I reminded him it was steam, not smoke, but but it was good. The burgers today off the Discada, I would put them almost up there with, did you say Iron Horse or Steel Horse?
Iron Horse.
Iron Horse restaurant, and those are the best burgers I've had. And usually you go to restaurants like Ruth Chris and places like that, their burgers are top shelf. I put that one right up there with them, or maybe I was just super hungry that day, who knows. But I'm rambling. Mrs. SG is trying to take over the cooking from me, which I don't like. Too many hands spoil the soup. Do they have an expression like that back home?
I guess so.
So I'm going to get off camera and get back to cooking. She's graciously giving me the tongs back. So I'm going to sign out. SK2 has a mouthful of food, so he may or may not join in. But on behalf of our family here at Essayons Family Garden, I'm Rob the Sapper Gardener, along with SK1, SK2, Mrs. SG, saying God bless our great country America, and God bless you wherever you reside around the world. Take care. Sapper out, and
SK2 out.
take care, everyone.